Hi, friend. Okay, I don't know who this is for. Most likely you if you're hearing this, but this is coming through so loud that I had to get on here and record. It doesn't matter what happens to you. What matters is the meaning that you give it. Everything is neutral. Everything is neutral. We give it meaning. And yes, I understand things happen that may seem negative. But that is all because that is the definition and the belief that you are giving it. And usually that happens when things happen that aren't our ideal, right? When something happens that isn't what we ideally wanted or we're trying to control happening, we give it negative meaning. Everything has a positive purpose. Everything. Everything. And this is something that I have held back in preaching my whole life, being that I have been judged. And again, that's just me then choosing to take it as judgment, but whatever, for being too positive, for always seeing the positive in things. But there is always positive in everything, in everything. No matter what happens, the meaning we give things creates our reality. So if something happens that you perceive as negative, then you are choosing to be in that vibration. And if you're choosing to be in that vibration, then you're going to get more of that vibration. But when things that you maybe perceive as negative, if you can take a step back and see what positive can I find in this, right? And this isn't bypassing, this is consciously creating our reality. It doesn't serve anybody if you sit there in negativity. It doesn't serve anybody. I'm going to give you a little example of what is happening for me right now that can be very easily perceived as negative. So last night my cat came in really wet, didn't notice, but could tell he was off. And then this morning saw that he had fought with something. So he has gouges out of the side of his head, marks. Anyways, he's mangled. He got in a fight with something. And that is not, how I ideally wanted to wake up this morning, is to my cat hurting and suffering. Obviously, that can be then perceived as negative and not the ideal. But the way I take it is he survived it. By the looks of his head, he was very close to not surviving it. So I am just abundantly grateful that whatever he had to do, he did to survive it and come back home. And he will heal and he will be fine. Everything is always here to reveal something to us. And when we allow ourselves to be conscious and present, to be aware in the moment, we can always choose the vibration, the frequency, the energy that we are in by how we're perceiving whatever is happening. Now, I also could sit here and be a victim to my cat being hurt. And we've had a lot of struggles with this cat's health and be, in the space of why us, another vet bill, blah, 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 thinking the worst, right? So I could look at him right now and I could think the worst or I can think the best. Regardless, what's going to happen is going to happen. So me sitting here worrying about his healing and if he's going to make it and what's going to happen and if we're ever going to be able to let him out of the house again, or I can sit here and be in gratitude for the fact that he survived. I can think the best that he's going to heal easily and effortlessly and that he learned his lesson and that he's going to stop fighting whatever he's been fighting and be safe, right? Either way, it's all going to play out how it does. This is how we create our reality, though. And this is why a lot of us create realities that we don't love, because we've been taught and conditioned to always think the worst. Like, have you heard this? We need to think the worst. We need to know, the worst case scenario so we can be prepared. Why? Why? Why right now do I need to take away my happiness? Why right now do I need to suffer with the worst case scenario of what might happen to my cat? Because you know what? If right now the perceived worst case scenario were to happen, a day, a week, a month, a year down the road, I'm only going to be able to deal with it then how I deal with it then. So why would I take away my own happiness, my own joy, my own time with my cat now, because this worst case scenario might happen? Instead, I'm going to enjoy here and now. I'm going to be grateful that he's here, purring, sleeping, resting, healing, and think of the best case scenario. Because I can tell you that no matter what happens, I'm going to handle it how I handle it when I get there, as whoever I am. And that is how we be the conscious creators of reality, and how we truly create lives that we love. Because every moment is a choice, is an opportunity to be in love or fear. So I'm choosing love for my cat, and that he's alive, and that I have the ability to take care of him and to hear him purr. And I'm not going to choose to be here in fear of if this thing attacks him again or whatever the future may bring. And I'm just using this because this is, the best way it's how I'm here to teach, is through example. And, we can take this into any area: finances, relationship, health, everything. But I feel like it's pretty easy to relate to the fact that we can go to sleep with hopes and dreams of the next day as much as we want and wake up to a hurt cat. And I can let that derail me from me being the love and the light that I'm here to be, and go into fear and worry and waste my life. Or I can take it for what it is, be here now, anchor into love and light that I can, give him all the love and care that I can, and know that the future is going to bring us many more years together. And he's just had a really close call, and he is going to smarten up, because he's been fighting out there for a few weeks now, and we don't know what, but living in fear isn't going to help me. And I mean, this happens to parents with kids. He's my only child, so obviously, this is hard. It's hard. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that it's ideal that he came home hurt, but he came home hurt. And any way that I am isn't going to take that away. When we give ourselves the gift of being with whatever is and seeing, this is the way that it is. This is the way that it is. And I'm going to be here now, however I want to be. And I'm going to allow myself to feel pain, to feel whatever I feel, but I'm not going to choose to worry. I'm not going to choose to be in fear of the future, because the future doesn't happen. You can't be in the future. Your thoughts and your mind can be there, taking you away from now, but we're only ever here. And the gift of life is to live it. We are here to enjoy and expand and evolve through every experience. And the moment that you really truly see that, and you allow yourself to be the conscious creator of your reality, your identity shifts, your life changes, and you realize that you really truly can have whatever you want. You can be whoever you want to be. But I get it. I've been there. Maybe not to the level of some people, because I've always been an optimist, but I've always understood that everything is neutral. Like, I don't remember when I didn't understand that. Doesn't mean that I haven't spent a lot of my life giving negative meanings to things when I forget. But when I'm conscious, when I'm me, when I'm awake and aware, I know that the meaning that I give anything and the way that I perceive reality is what's creating it. Nothing outside of ourselves can create our happiness. It all comes from within. As I said in a recent video here, it's all a mirror, right? Universe, reality, it's a mirror, and it is mirroring to us what is going on in our internal world. However many of you see this are all going to perceive me and what I'm saying differently through your lens of consciousness, through your lens of your life. What you give meaning to and how you give it meaning is creating the reality that you're living. So I'm here today to encourage you to be conscious, to be aware. Awareness is key to creating your reality. It's one thing to sit and meditate and visualize, and again, that is a part of it. When we have these dreams and desires and these identities we want to be, it really does help them to manifest if we're able to see them, to feel them, to perceive them, to connect to them. And if it's things that haven't happened before, you need to go into your imagination to do that, to connect to it. But then you get to just surrender to the fact that you're seeing this, you're believing it, and now you just have to be it and allow the divine to guide you. It will, if you trust. But again, it's up to you. Or you don't have to listen to me at all, and you can keep perceiving the so-called threats or fears or misery or whatever it is that is going on around you. I'm just here to wake you up to the fact that you are more powerful than that. That you are more powerful than that, and that you are worthy, beyond worthy, of living a life that you love. You are here to love yourself and your life. That is how you live your purpose. That is your purpose. If you want to know, and this is something for my over 2 decades of being we'll just call it a life coach, through all the things that I've done, the number one thing that I could say everyone has tried to find out from me is what their purpose is, right? Why am I here? How do I be happy? How do I love myself? That's all one thing. You be here. You love yourself. You show up for yourself. You follow through on what you know is right for you. And you live consciously. You can live unconsciously or super consciously. Self-consciously is going to happen in there too. But when we're present, when we're aware, when we're here, when you're listening to me, and I'm making you conscious of the fact that you're sitting here listening, you can choose. You can choose. You are in the power in the now to choose to worry, and most likely worrying based in things that have happened in the past, or you can choose to expand. You can choose to be curious. You can choose to love. You can choose to live. Really, I guess that's what it is. You're either choosing to worry or you're choosing to live, to experience, to expand, to express yourself. You aren't worry. You aren't fear. You aren't the negativity that you feel, none of that is you. You are divinity. And you are here to express yourself however feels true for you. Okay. Thank you for listening to me today. I hope this gave you something, whatever is going on for you. My hope was, by coming on and sharing my experience, that if there's anything that right now isn't ideal, and I'm never going to say that, it's all just, love and light, even though it is. I'm here to tell you that we're human, right? We have our humanness and our beingness, and we need them to be in harmony. And when the human is hurt or challenged in this 3D world, we have to remember that we are more divine than that, and that we get to choose to be that divinity that we are in that moment. So choose you, be divine, stay aligned.